The picture on the front of this is of Tacoma, Washington, a place I used to live. The sheer number of dead bodies created by ineptitude and laziness of the American people. It's pathetic. We don't take care of our own. We want to punish people who are poor. We will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars every year to make sure that homeless people are locked up so that nobody has to see them. Hundreds of thousands of dollars each. Meanwhile, how much does it cost to live here in the United States? It's pretty fucking expensive. If you don't make enough money to pay $3,300 per month out of your $820 in disability, then it's your fault, according to the American people. You deserve to be punished for being broke. There's assholes like my dad, sexual deviants. My dad thought that it was okay to try to force me to learn HTML so I could make porn sites for him. I was only I wasn't even 16, I was 15. The two major arguments that me and my dad had when I left, one of them was over PE. I got a F in PE because of something that's his fucking fault. Well, how's it your dad's fault? You got an F. I'll tell you. Because he didn't want to buy a school uniform and didn't want to talk to my teachers. Just wanted to treat me like I'm a fucking retard. He was told that he didn't have to spend any money on a uniform. All I needed was a white shirt and black shorts. I suited up in a white shirt and black shorts every fucking day. And then I went and sat down for the entire fucking class because I didn't have a goddamn uniform. Of course, not that it mattered. My dad had it in his head that I was Rain Man. Like I'm some Hollywood version of autism. The thing is, my dad had a 15-year-old boy going through porno magazines. Like, seriously. Who the fuck hands their kids a bunch of porno magazines and says, hey, I want you to do something like this? No, Dad. I had to spend an hour to 2 hours every day after school before I could go over to the lawyer's house who I worked for. He had bees in his yard, so it wasn't like I was going over there and doing legal work. I was going over there and bee tending. And before I could go do that, I had to practice on the HTML so I could make porno sites. Then I had to go to work, and then after work I could do my homework. And hopefully my dad wouldn't get rum and coke in his system before I got finished, because then it might result in me getting smacked around again. I shouldn't say smacked around. My mom's the one that smacked us. My dad hit us. My dad thought he's bigger than me and bigger than my brother that was going to fly. Well, it didn't. It went over better with me than it did with my older brother, though. My older brother beat my dad up. He was only, I want to say, 14 at the time. The thing is, my dad, he's always been a pervert. It's always been about vagina. When he started Direct Info, he was trying to do this whole swinger thing. Him and his wife, Diane. Ugh. Gross. And then, of course, to be having your 15-year-old aware of that stuff. Like, no, I don't want to fucking hear that stuff, Dad. You go have sex with whoever the fuck you want. Just leave me the fuck out of it. My dad's one of those people, though, that, well, much like my older brother, my dad believed that might makes right. Well, it didn't make him right, did it? It made him a fucking sicko. And now I'm on here talking about what a sicko he is. What the fuck kind of a sicko wants his son to make porno websites? Like, seriously. You know, I got enough problems with people treating me like I'm some sort of a horrible person because I'm not good looking. Because I didn't grow up with you mainstream people. I grew up with actual, real fucking problems. Most of my problems growing up were created by my father. They weren't there. How many of y'all understand that situation? Parents that were not there. Their drugs were more important. Their cocaine was more important. There's people who tell me, oh, well, you should just let that go. There's people who don't have any family. You know what? There's lots of people that don't have any family. Just because your family is alive, just because your relatives, I should say, just because your relatives are alive doesn't mean they give a holy fuck about you. Shit, some of y'all without family are extremely lucky that you don't have families ripping you off all the goddamn time. Oh, Sean, I need insurance or I can't do anything. All right, once I pay for your insurance, what are you going to do? Exactly. I don't matter. My family didn't give a shit unless they were paid to give a shit. That's not family. Those are relatives. If you can't tell the difference, you're a fucking idiot. Anyway, I was able to find a very important part of this whole equation. Last night I was able to find my clandestine audio recording. Thank goodness. As soon as the library's open, I gotta go up there and get started. Try to call Janelle Boggs back, I guess. I might puke. Anyway, my dad did a lot of really harmful and damaging things to me growing up. On the bright side, I was able to get the hell out of there when I was 15. I moved to Nebraska. Nebraska sucked. Between them racist assholes in Nebraska and the racist assholes in Tacoma, Washington, I would have much rather hung out with the racist assholes in Tacoma, Washington. That's because most of the racist assholes I knew in Tacoma, Washington were black, and I grew up with black kids. Once in a while, there was white kids that would show up at the places I was at, if their parents were broke enough. If their parents weren't broke, they usually didn't end up in the same places. If your parents got money, then of course you must be a victim because your parents have money. Insane how that works, doesn't it? Or rather, how it doesn't. God, I can't find my rolling papers. It makes it a little difficult to roll a cigarette. My dad did have an opportunity much later in life to try being a father. I went up there to visit him in, I want to say 2009 or 2010. But when I went up there to visit him, he wasn't interested in visiting with his son. He was interested in proving that my mom was a cheating ass hoe and that I'm not really his kid. It's amazing how that works. Oh, well, you know, my kid isn't perfect, so I'm just going to blame it on someone else. It must be Angela's fault that my son isn't perfect. He must be somebody else's kid, because everybody knows Brian Schwartz's offspring are perfect. We're all the Jesus. Brian Schwartz only has Jesus children. Perfect children. We're going to become perfect adults. Perfect like him? I don't think so. That's not a perfection. There's my rolling papers. God damn, I found him. Woo! Go Broncos. Anyway, let's get back to talking shit about my dad. Is it talking shit? No, it's true. Talking shit is like when that Amelia lady wanted to accuse her boyfriend of being gay, being attracted to little boys, and wearing girls' panties. That's talking shit, because you didn't get what you wanted. When somebody lies to you, they say, hey man, you know what? I got a Buick. And if you can make it here, you can have the Buick. And you make it there. And they neglected to tell you that, first of all, they don't have the title. Second of all, it doesn't run. Oh, they took the transmission out like 2 years ago. Sorry, I forgot to tell you that. Well, thanks, asshole. Thanks for telling me before I wasted my time. You just kind of forgot that. Lots of people forget important information when they want something, or when they want to get rid of something. They don't stop to consider whether or not the person that they're lying to is capable of actually doing anything after you've lied to them. Like, you know, after somebody's spent all that money to travel to go see you to get that quote-unquote free car, and they get there, all their money's gone now. They don't have a car. They're just screwed. When I went to see my dad back in 2009 and he wanted me to take a DNA test, I took that DNA test. I gave him what he wanted. Then later on, when Natalie disappeared, well, let's fast forward to 2016 while I was visiting Natalie in Virginia. My older brother Eric was all fucked up on meth. Couldn't knock his shit off. He kept wanting me to call up my dad and my mom and tell them they need to buy me and him a house in Boulder. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Our parents can't afford a house in Boulder. My dad is never going to have money for anything other than self-indulgence. All he cares about is money. How true is that? No, he cares about vagina, even at his age. Vagina is pretty fucking important. For my dad, vagina is a staple food. Those assholes that y'all women date, A lot of those assholes treat people like me like shit. Like, dude, all you gotta do is fucking lie to her, fucking pretend to give a shit. Yeah, well, I see that works if you're good looking. And my dad, he never molested me. He never touched my pee-pee inappropriately. He never sodomized me. I had those things happen to me because my dad was in the system for selling cocaine. Fuck this goddamn country. My dad also hates the homeless. He's made it very obvious in my life that he hates the homeless. Has nothing but contempt and disrespect for them. Meanwhile, he's the one that went to prison for 38 counts of cocaine possession with intent to sell. My dad's the one that sold an illegal AR-15 to an undercover officer. That's my dad who did those things. When I was blackmailed into making an illegal AR-15, where was my dad? Well, nowhere to be found. It's all about what he wants, when he wants it, and he better get what he wants when he wants it. His wife, Diane, is, well, she's the definition of prison bitch. If Diane were my dad's cellie, she'd sleep on her belly. And just because somebody is a sexual deviant doesn't mean that they're sexually deviant towards children. But exploiting children and child labor laws, did he exploit the labor laws? No, he didn't. He outright broke the labor laws. But that didn't matter to him. He wanted his little Rain Man to make him millions of dollars. When I went up there after Natalie disappeared, and my dad was going to quote-unquote help me, how did he help me? By yelling at me? Did that help? No, it didn't. By treating me like I'm a fucking idiot? By changing the rules over and over again? By illegally imprisoning me in a room in his house? No, fuck all of that. When you illegally imprison somebody, what, you think it's magically okay? Oh, Sean, you like, yeah, sure, Dad. I can't understand a word you're fucking saying because you're not speaking English. Yes, he was speaking English, but he was speaking stupid, too. That's not English. If you're going to speak stupid, you're not speaking the English language. You're just speaking stupid. Oh, Sean, I only had you doing that HTML stuff because you wanted to. No, nobody wants to sit down with HTML fucking coding. There's a reason that when they redid everything in the late 90s and early 2000s, that they got rid of HTML altogether. Yes, HTML still exists. Yes, you can still do HTML. No, it's not fucking worth it. Exploiting children in such a way is against the child labor laws. Exploiting an adult who is disabled in such a way violates a whole lot more laws. My dad should have thought about that before being a dipshit. But my dad's a selfish son of a bitch. Now, my Aunt Mary did let me know a little bit about what it was like for my dad growing up. My dad had it real nice compared to the rest of us. My dad is the kind of guy that y'all talk shit about. My dad hates homeless people. Now, while my dad's decisions had long-lasting consequences for his children, he doesn't feel as if he should be held responsible for any of his choices or actions. How very American of him. When it comes to the situation that I'm in, there's a big difference between walking into somebody's house with a shotgun and blasting them and somebody breaking into your fucking house with a shotgun and you blast them. In one of those situations, you're in the wrong. In one of those situations, you're in the right. But if you're a poor person in low-income housing and somebody breaks into your house and you shoot them, you are probably going to jail for at least involuntary manslaughter. Even with the Make My Day law. I had everything taken from me because I was honest. On the bright side, I don't support pedophiles or pedophilia. I don't support taking advantage of children. Whether you're exploiting them sexually or for labor, you're doing wrong shit. Now, the picture on the front of this is just one of a great many from Tacoma. Per capita, Tacoma has more homeless people than Philadelphia. Philadelphia is real bad right now. Not sure if you've been paying attention. Anyway, my dad has a business called Direct Info. His company information is on the internet, including his address, 4845 East D Street, Tacoma, Washington. If you look that up on MapQuest, you'll notice that it's the only nice block in the neighborhood. Everything else in the area were surrounded by ghetto. Anyway, my dad is not a good person. He's a selfish piece of shit. Between when I moved to Nebraska and when I went up there to see my dad in, 2019? Very beginning of 2019. My dad had never once reached out to me just to get a hold of me and see how I was doing. Not once ever. Ever. Always wanted to throw it in my face. It's tough. It's tough raising kids that are smarter than you are. Not really. Maybe you should listen to your fucking kids, retard.